Welcome back to Mr. Brain Burst. Today, we dive deep into a shocking truth hidden inside one of the world's most popular shows, Squid Game. But this isn't just another Easter egg video. What you're about to hear is a chilling analysis that reveals how Squid Game predicted real-world horrors and what it says about you and your life. So don't skip a second. Let's begin. More than a childhood game. Remember the first game? Red light, green light. To most people, it felt nostalgic, a throwback to innocent childhood games. But here's the twist. This scene is the perfect metaphor for capitalism. Players stop and move only when commanded, just like how real-life workers move in sync with economic conditions, stop during recession, move during boom, and die if they don't follow the rhythm. That smiling doll? It's not just creepy, it's surveillance capitalism. The camera eyes, the motion detection. It's all a subtle nod to how modern society watches your every move online and punishes you without mercy. The player's debt not fiction, but fact. Every contestant in Squid Game has massive debt. Sounds exaggerated? It's not. In real life, millions across the world are trapped in student loans, credit card debt, and medical bills willing to do anything for a chance at freedom. The masked organizers don't represent villains. They represent bankers, corporations, and the ultra-rich, watching as the poor fight each other for survival, just like in real life. And that prize money? It hangs above their heads like a twisted version of the American dream. The uniforms stripped of identity. Why are all the players dressed alike? Because when you're in debt, your personal identity doesn't matter. You're just another number in the system. Green tracksuits for the poor, pink suits for the enforcers, gold masks for the elite. It's a color-coded class system, and the show never even tries to hide it. The masked VIPs, who are they really? Let's talk about the creepiest part, the VIPs. We see old, white, rich men watching people die for sport, laughing, drinking, and placing bets. But what if I told you this part isn't fictional? There have been real-life stories of the ultra-rich hosting illegal events, from underground fights to cruel social experiments. It's entertainment for them, suffering for us. Squid Game uses this to call out how wealth and power disconnect people from humanity. The silent workers, guess why they matter. You've seen them. The workers in pink, silent, masked, emotionless. They're not the enemy. They're victims too. Most of them are just obeying orders to survive, showing how middle-class people often become tools of the elite without even realizing it. They carry guns, enforce rules, but they're just as replaceable as the players. It's a cold reminder that in real life, many of us become part of a machine we didn't create. The game itself, designed for hopelessness. Each game in Squid Game is carefully chosen to represent something sinister. They begin with simple games like red light, green light, tug of war, and marbles, but the deeper you go, the more twisted and impossible the choices become. This is exactly how society works. At first, the rules seem fair: work hard, play fair, and win. But soon the system forces you into betrayals, impossible decisions, and sacrifices just to survive. The game changes, and the rich never have to play it. Player 01, the ultimate twist. Remember the old man, Player 01? At first he seems sweet, confused, and fragile. But in the end, he's revealed as the game's creator. That's the metaphor. The ones who suffer often end up becoming the ones who create suffering for others. Why? Because when people get power, they forget what pain felt like. It's a brutal reflection of how the real world works. The powerful often come from the poor. But once they reach the top, they protect the system instead of breaking it. The Marbles episode, betrayal hits hard. This episode broke people. Two players, one marble game. Only one can survive. It's not a test of skill, it's a test of betrayal. Best friends lie. Couples deceive. Good men are broken. Why? Because desperation turns good people into monsters. Just like in real life, when survival is at stake, morality collapses. The glass bridge, a pure social experiment. Imagine being told to walk across glass panels, half of them break, half hold. And imagine being the one in the front. That's real life. The poor, the first-timers, the pioneers, they're forced to go first, to take risks, to get hurt. While the rich and privileged learn from their failures and walk safer paths. It's a cruel experiment, and Squid Game nails it. The final game, violence or nothing. The last game is a knife fight. No rules, no fairness, just violence. This is what happens when society strips people of everything: education, support, opportunity. What's left? Violence, chaos, survival of the most desperate. And in the end, even the winner is broken. No celebration, just blood, trauma, and regret. The winner. But at what cost? Gi-hun wins the game. He gets the money. But what does he lose? His friends, his soul, his reason to live. He walks back into the world with billions, but can't even spend it. Because what's the point of winning if your humanity dies? This is Squid Game's deepest message. Even if you survive the system, it doesn't mean you've escaped it. The ending scene, hair, money, and pain. Remember the hair color? When Gi-hun dyes his hair bright red, it's not just random. Red symbolizes rage, rebirth, revolution. He doesn't want to be rich. He wants to change things. But even then, the system grabs him when he tries to leave. He gets pulled back in, just like us. Even if we walk away, the system finds us again. The real world parallels. This is already happening. Think this is all just fiction? Across the globe, people are competing for basic survival every day. Gig workers underpaid. Students drowning in debt. Families going bankrupt over medical bills. Billionaires betting on stock markets while millions live paycheck to paycheck. The real Squid Game doesn't need deadly games. It just needs a broken system. The Squid Game you're already in. Let's be honest. You and I are already players. Every time you choose a job you hate just to survive. Every time you stay silent just to stay employed. Every time you compete with others for scraps. You're playing Squid Game, and no one's watching from the VIP lounge to help you. So what's the way out? Squid Game doesn't give a clean answer. But maybe that's the point. It forces us to ask, why is the system like this? Who really benefits from our struggle? And what will it take to break free? The real twist is, the only way to win is to refuse to play by their rules. Thanks for watching, Mr. Brainburst. If this made you think even for a second, like, subscribe, and share it with someone who's still asleep in the system. Stay sharp, stay human, and remember, the game only ends when we stop playing it.